the state of all parliamentary buildings and Tafawa Balewa Square, Lagos. I so move, Mr. Speaker. The House notes that the Tafawa Balewa Square, which was once known as the old race course, is housed on a land that was provided to the colonial authorities by Oba Dosumu in 1859 and in 1960. The course was redeveloped to celebrate Nigeria's independence anniversary and the lowering of the Union Jack. The House also notes that the magnificent and historical edifice, which was named after the first Prime Minister of Nigeria, Sir Abubakar Tafawa Balewa, and which was the place the very first independence speech was delivered on the 1st of October 1960, has the old National Assembly, a 26-story Independence House, and the Remembrance Arcade. Aware that the Tafawa Balewa Square complex, popularly referred to as TBS, is listed in Part 2 of the Public Enterprise Privatization and Commercialization Act, number 28 of 1999, and TBS is wholly 100% owned by the federal government, even when being managed by a concessionaire. Also aware, in the past, the National Assembly had taken legislative actions through motions and reports by ad hoc committees on the matter, as was evidenced by the report of the Senate ad hoc committee on the immortalization of senators, which was laid on the 31st of May 2012, and the report of the House of Representatives ad hoc committee on establishment of National Assembly Legislative Museum and Archives, which was laid on the 16th of April 2019. The House is cognizant that the recommendations of both ad hoc committees emphasize the need for the management of the old parliamentary buildings in Lagos to be returned to the National Assembly to be maintained as a historical democratic monument for the nation. Concerned at the present deplorable state of the complex, which was brought about by the continuous neglect of the concessionaires and landlords who have failed to give it the deserved attention as historical democratic monuments for the nation. Also concerned that so far no measures have been put in place to justify the efforts of the founding fathers of Nigeria's democracy and preserve its legislative history, as the federal government's abandonment of one of the most important monuments in Nigeria's history is disheartening, given that in other climes, the Tafawa Balewa Square would have been treated with so much reverence and regard akin to that of a sacred place. The House resolves to 1. Call on the federal government to renovate and transform the complex into a national monument in order for the country to appreciate and preserve the legislative heritage of Nigeria. And number 2, mandate the Committee on Legislative Library Research and Documentation to investigate the current status of the old parliamentary building and revert back to this hollow chamber within 8 weeks. I so submit.
Honorable Bondi.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues. My name is Julius Bondi. I represent the very good people of the Federal Constituency, Mr. Speaker, in Zokeme and from Delta State. I rise to second the motion ably moved by my brother Jonathan. I so second.
It appears this might even be an infrastructure motion, if it's to do with the building. So we'll just put a question. Those in support, please say aye. Those against, you say nay. Ayes have it. 10th order of the day is a motion of military invasion of Bilabiri community of Ekere More local government area by Elsa State. Stand in the name of Honorable Agbedi. Honorable Frederick Agbedi is invited to move the motion.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues. Agbedi Yeitiemune Frederick is my name. I represent Sagbama Kremo Federal Constituency. Izonkome, I am from Bayelsa State. Military invasion of Bilabri community in the Kremo local government area, Bayelsa State. The House notes that men of the Joint Military Task Force allegedly stormed Bilabri community in reprisal attacks following an earlier killing of 4 naval personnel on 2nd January 2020 at Sterling Oil Exploration and Energy Production Company site at Agate by unknown gunmen. Also notes that in recent times, there have been several invasions of various communities on 18 January 2020 in the Niger Delta area by men of the Nigerian Army who claim to have been on security operations in such communities. Aware that the primary purpose of government is the provision of security and welfare of the people as guaranteed in Section 14(2)(b) of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 as amended, concerned that the socio-economic lives and well-being of the people living in and around the affected areas could also be adversely affected as people would vacate the area in search of safety and other conducive business environment, with the result that those people and communities will be completely cut off from the rest of the state. Desirous of an urgent need for prompt and immediate cessation of hostilities by the Joint Military Task Force in Bilabri and any other community in the Dodo and Ramos River area of the Kremon local government area of Bayelsa State, to avert further hardship on the innocent people for the crimes of a few miscreants. Believes that a globally respected military force such as the Nigerian Army cannot afford to exhibit such uncivilized and reckless behavior, even in the face of the provocation and mindless killings of members of the armed forces. Rather, it should have used efficient defense intelligence to conduct thorough investigation to bring those miscreants to justice, which had purportedly been done as speculated in this instance. Resolves to 1. Observe 1 minute silence in honor of the military men that died in active service in the abominable and cowardly attack. 2. Condemn attacks by sea pirates on men carrying out their legitimate duties, as well as the military incursion in Bilabri community by men of the Joint Military Task Force on the 18th of January 2020. 3. Urge the Chief of Defense Staff to immediately halt any further aggression by men of armed forces. 4. Also urge the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, to provide relief materials in terms of medical and social needs for the innocent victims of the community. And 5. Mandate the Committees on Defense, National Security and Intelligence to investigate the invasion of the community by military personnel and report back within 6 weeks for further legislative action. I so move, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues.
Honorable Chidoka, please second the motion.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues. My name is Obina Chidoka, representing Idemili North, Idemili South Federal Constituency of Anambra State. Mr. Speaker, I rise this afternoon to second the motion as moved by my colleague, Honorable Fred Agbedi. I so second, Right Honorable Speaker.
Those in support of the motion, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. Honorable colleagues, the 11th order of the day is consideration of report of the Committee on Niger Delta Development Commission on the issue from the Statutory Revenue Fund of the Niger Delta Development Commission the total sum of 346,388,900,000 naira, only of which the sum of 22,338,190,000 naira only is for personnel expenditure, while the sum of 13,466,810,000 naira only is for overhead expenditure, while the sum of 4,083,000,000 naira only is for internal capital expenditure, and the sum of 306,500,000,000 naira 500,900,000 naira only is for development projects for the service of the Niger Delta Development Commission for the financial year ending on 31st May 2020. Honorable members will recall that the report was laid on Thursday, 26 February 2020. Honorable Olubumi Tunji Ojo is to move for its consideration. Honorable Ojo.
Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, my name is Honorable Olubumi Tunji Ojo, representing the good people of Akoko Northeast Northwest Federal Constituency. That the House do consider the report of the Committee on Niger Delta Development Commission on the issue from the Statutory Revenue Fund of the Niger Delta Development Commission (NDDC), the total sum of 346,388,900,000 naira only, of which the sum of 22,338,190,000 naira only is for personnel expenditure, while the sum of 13,466,810,000 naira only is for overhead expenditure, while the sum of 4,083,000,000 naira only is for internal capital expenditure, and the sum of 306,500,900,000 naira only is for development projects for the service of the Niger Delta Development Commission for the financial year ending on 31st of May 2020, and approve the recommendations therein. Issue from the Statutory Revenue Fund of the Niger Delta Development Commission (NDDC) the total sum of 346,388,900,000 naira only, of which the sum of 22,338,190,000 naira only for personnel expenditure, while the sum of 13,466,810,000 naira only for overhead expenditure, while the sum of 4,083,000,000 naira only is for internal capital expenditure, and the sum of 306,500,900,000 naira only is for development projects for the service of the Niger Delta Development Commission (NDDC) for the financial year ending on 31st May 2020. So, summary. A, recurrent expenditure, personnel and overhead costs, and internal capital fixed asset. I so moved for this report to be considered and to be approved. Thank you.
Honorable Joe Kingsley.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. My name remains Honorable Uju Kingsley Chima, representing Ohajima Oguta, Oru West Federal Constituency of Imo State. I second the motion as ably moved by Honorable Tunji Bumi. I so moved.
Those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. House Leader, can you please move that the House resolve to the Committee of Supply?
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, honorable members. Honorable Ado Dogwa is my name. Mr. Speaker, I represent Dogwa Tudungwada Federal Constituency from Kano State. I rise to move that the House do resolve to the Committee of Supply to consider this report. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I so move.
Honorable Ataka. Second, Committee of Supply.
I stand to second the motion ably moved by the leader of the House.
Okay. Those in favor of the motion say aye. Those against it say nay. Ayes have it. The House hereby resolves into Committee of Supply. Honourable members, the report to be considered is that of the Committee on Niger Delta Development Commission on the issue from the statutory revenue of the Niger Delta Development Commission, total sum of 346,388,900,000, only of which the sum of 22,338,190,000 only is for personnel expenditure, while the sum of 13,466,810,000 naira only is for overhead expenditure, while the sum of 4,083,000,000 naira only is for internal capital expenditure, and the sum of 306,500,000,000 naira, 500,900,000 naira only is for development projects for the service of the Niger Delta Development Commission for the fiscal year ending on 31st of May 2020. Honorable Bumi Tunji-Ojo will give the synopsis of the report. Honorable Ojo, just give us a synopsis of your report, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I remain Honorable Bumi Tunji-Ojo, and I represent Akoko Northeast, Akoko Northwest Federal Constituency. I'm from Ondo State. Mr. Speaker, I wish to move that the House do consider the report as I've stated earlier, which is report of the Committee on Niger Delta Development Commission on the issue from the Statutory Revenue Fund of the Niger Delta Development Commission to the tune of 346,388,900,000 naira only, of which the sum of 22,000,000 338,101,000 naira only is for personnel expenditure, while the sum of 13,466,810,000 naira only is for overhead expenditure, while the sum of 4,083,000,000 naira only is for internal capital expenditure, and the sum of 306,500,900,000 naira only is for development projects for the service of the Niger Delta Development Commission (NDDC), and it's for the financial year ending on the 31st of May 2020. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable colleagues, the report before us is reading 2019 budget. I don't know whether it's a mistake. It's correct?
Sorry, leader, what was your point of order? Sorry.
Yes, I was observing that the report before us is reading 20. No, point, I said point of order. To observe.
Do you,
Do you want me to second him?
of order? What's the point of order?
No. Point of order, sir, means
I'm saying whether to put the paper before us is an incorrect document.
Okay, we'll go straight to the summary. On recurrent expenditure, personnel and overhead costs, and also the internal fixed assets. That the sum of 53,114,000 for personnel costs, stand part of the report. Carried. Overhead costs, 159 billion. Carried. Internal capital, 41 billion. Carried.
because of the remaining figures.
The Managing Director's office. Okay, so the subtotal for the chairman's office is 253,688,550. That's 688. Sorry, 253,688,554 naira. Carried. Managing Director's office. Personnel costs 151,033,825. Carried. Overhead costs 505,000. Carried. 505 million. Carried. Internal capital fixed assets 158,994,434. Carried. Subtotal 815,028,259. Carried. Executive Director of Finance and Administration. so that we move fast. We'll just take the heads and then go to the subtotal. So number 3, Executive Director of Finance and Administration Office. The total is 507,290,298. Carried. Executive Director of Projects, 630,114,651 naira. Carried. Security Department, subtotal 1,127,972,498 naira. Carried. Corporate Affairs Department, subtotal 918,210,292 naira. Carried. Public Procurement Unit, 353,770,587 naira. Carried. Audit Department, subtotal is 432,520,450 naira. Carried. Directorate of Commercial and Industrial Development, 561,245,798 naira. Carried. Directorate of Education, Health and Social Services, 712,815,738 naira. Carried. Directorate of Agriculture and Fisheries, 470,739,114 naira. Carried. Directorate of Environmental Protection and Control, 531,953,342 naira. Carried. Directorate of Utilities, Infrastructure Development and Waterways, 544,212,699 naira. Carried. Director of Youth, Sports, Culture and Women Affairs, 685,465,134 naira. Carried. Design Department, 233,854,254 naira. Carried. Project Management Department, 198,854,868 naira. Carried. Information Technology Department, 374,782,293 naira. Carried. Public-Private Partnership, 245,684,196 naira. Servicom, 226,928,345 naira. Carried. Headquarters, 4,384,627,637 naira. Carried. Directorate of Community and Rural Development, 730,012,413 naira. Directorate of Project Monitoring and Supervision, 788,151,595 naira. Directorate of Finance and Supply, 865,377,221 naira. Directorate of Administration, 586,398,614 naira. Directorate of Human Resources, 576,411,358 naira. Directorate of Planning, Research, Statistics and Management Information System, 1,027,509,128 naira. Directorate of Legal Services, 1,212,795,292 naira. Abia State Projects Office, 503,164,186 naira. Akwa Ibom State Office, 700,866,077 naira. Bayelsa State Office, 754,192,073 naira. Carried. Cross River State Office, 518,660,919 naira. Carried. Many people from Bayelsa are here. Cross River. What do we carry now?
Cross River.
Okay. So the next is Delta State. Okay, we'll skip that one. Delta State, 879,491,947 naira. Carried. Edo State, 444,899,779 naira. Carried. Imo, Imo State, Imo State. I thought you were still in court. 472,224,693 naira. Carried. Ondo State. Chairman, what state are you from? There's a conflict of interest here. Yes. Which one is New Imo? Okay. I don't know which one is New Imo. Okay, it's protected. It's protected. Okay. But the problem I'm having is this next one, Ondo State, because the chairman of the committee is from Ondo State. There's a conflict of interest. Amendment to Ondo State. Ondo State Office, 640,759,092 naira. Is it carried? River State, wow, 855,764,000. Yes. Are you a member of the committee? We already carried it now. It's too late. Abuja Liaison Office, 511,790,387 naira. Carried. Provision for aids to board members, 1,298,737. No, it has always been like that. AIDS. How would they work without AIDS? I mean, yeah, from last count, last year it was about 2 million. Carried.
Yeah, doing budget.
Where's this one? Chairman, there's no provision under number 20, the security personnel. Okay, yet to be deployed. Okay, yet to be deployed.
Then for this one, for us, we go the same way, sir.
Okay.
That you go to total for the internal capital. 4 billion. Not 39 billion, sorry.
Okay, so we're going to go to the personnel costs and go straight to the total, which is 39 billion 888 million naira. Carried. Projects development expenditure 306 billion 500 million 900,000. Carried. Project development expenditure 346 billion 388 million 900,000. Carried. Long title. Okay, grand total, we just did that. 346 billion 388 million 900,000. Long title, carried. Where's that? House Leader, please move that we revert to plenary.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, honorable members. I rise to move that the House do revert to plenary and report progress. Mr. Chairman, honorable members, I so move.
Any seconder? Honorable me.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, Odebo Meshego is my name. I represent the good people of the Federal Constituency. I rise to second the motion as moved by the leader of the House. I so second.
House reverts to plenary. Honorable colleagues, the House in the Committee of Supply considered the report of the Committee on Niger Delta Development Commission on the issue from the Statutory Revenue Fund of the Niger Delta Development Commission, the total sum of 346,388,900,000 naira only, of which the sum of 22,338,190,000 only is for personal expenditure, while the sum of 13,466,810,000 naira only is for overhead expenditure, while the sum of 4,883,000,000 naira only is for internal capital expenditure, and the sum of 306,500,000,000 naira 500,900,000 naira only is for development projects for the service of the Niger Delta Development Commission for the financial year ending on 31st May 2020, and approved the report. Leader.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, honorable members, I rise to move that the House do adopt the report of the Committee of Supply as reported. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I so move.
Chairman, Business and Rules.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Abubakar Samfulata. I represent Brunei Kasamaguri Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Jigawa State. Mr. Speaker, I move to second the motion ably moved by the Leader of the House. I so move. I so second.
Those in support of the adoption of the report of the Committee of Supply, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. Yes. Oh, it's okay. It's constitutional, but yes. One minute. Be on standby. Yes. 1 minute. Yes. The 12th order of the day is consideration of a bill for an act to repeal the Companies and Allied Matters Cap C20 Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004 and enact the Companies Limited Liability Partnerships, Limited Partnerships, Registration of Business Names together with the incorporation of trustees of certain communities, bodies, associations, and for related matters. Honorable members will recall that the bill was committed to the Committee of the Whole on Thursday, 20th of February 2020. Honorable Garba Alhassan Adudogwa will move for its consideration. Honorable Dogwa.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable members, I rise to move that the House do resolve into Committee of the Whole to consider reports. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I so move.
Chairman, Aids and Loans. Please second. Thank you. Those in support of the motion, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. The ayes have it. Leader. Leader.
The issue of the woman killed in Kogi, the issue of the journalists killed in Bayelsa, and many other
distinguished colleagues, the bill to be considered for an act to repeal the Companies and Allied Matters Act Cap C20 Laws of Federation of Nigeria 2004 and enact the Companies and Allied Company Limited Liabilities Partnership, Limited Partnership, Registration of Business.
Almighty God, Creator and Ruler of heaven and earth, we seek Thee to inspire and guide all our counsels and actions, so that we may always walk in the path of justice, love, and charity to one another. Help us with Thy grace to do only those things that will promote the unity, peace, happiness, and prosperity of Nigeria.
Mr. President,
Leader.
the issue of the woman killed in Kogi, the issue of the journalists killed in Bayelsa, and many others are examples. And until something practically...
Almighty God, Creator and Ruler of heaven and earth, we beseech Thee to inspire and guide all our counsels and actions, so that we may always walk in the path of justice, love, and charity to one another. Help us with Thy grace to do only those things that will promote the unity, peace, happiness, and prosperity of Nigeria. Amen.
Mr. President,
Pledge. I pledge to Nigeria, my country, to be faithful, loyal, and honest, to serve Nigeria with all my strength, to defend her unity, and uphold her honor and glory. So help me God.
Popular debate. And I want to join my minority leader in saying that at the point of public hearing, we can now put in the necessary adjustments and contributions with regards to whether it's going to be a commission or a tribunal, and again the adequate punishment for such embarrassment we have found ourselves. So without further
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, honorable members. Alhassan Ado Dogwa is my name. Mr. Speaker, I represent Dogwa Tudunwada Federal Constituency of Kano State, and by Allah's grace, the leader of the 9th House of Representatives. I rise, Mr. Speaker, Chairman, honorable members, to give a short synopsis and a brief on the log title of this bill as read by the chairman of this committee of the whole. It is a bill for an act to repeal the Companies and Allied Matters Act 1990, Cap C20, Laws of the Federation 2004, and to enact the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020 to provide for the incorporation of companies, limited liability partnerships, limited partnerships, registration of business names together with the incorporation of trustees of certain communities, bodies, association for related matters. And the short title will be referred in this bill as the Companies and Allied Matters Act 1990, Cap C20, Laws of the Federation 2004, Repealed and Reenactment Bill 2020. Mr. Chairman, honorable members, let me remind honorable colleagues that this is a bill that was passed on the 8th Assembly and forwarded to Mr. President for assent. For very obvious reasons, Mr. President withheld assent, noting on two major issues of concern, one of which, very critical, which has to do with the restoration of the requirement of consent of the Attorney General of the Federal Republic of Nigeria in cases of matters of this nature. Mr. Chairman, honorable members, this bill essentially seeks to repeal the Companies and Allied Matters Act 1990, Cap C20, Laws of the Federation 2004, and to enact the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020 to provide for the incorporation, like I've said, of companies, limited liability partnerships, limited partnerships, registration of business names together with the incorporation of trustees or certain communities, bodies and associations. Honorable Chairman, honorable members, it is pertinent to draw our attention to the fact that the Companies and Allied Matters Decree number 1 of 1990, later amended or later Companies and Allied Matters Act, CAMA, was promulgated in 1990. Since its promulgation into law, it has now lasted for over 20 years with minimal or no amendment during this period. Mr. Chairman, honorable members, as a result of the entire Nigeria's business landscape has been heavily constrained by several provisions in the Act, which have been described as impeding modern business practice in the light of national and global reforms. It has therefore been determined that the provisions of this Act are not in tandem with the global trends and that requires so many amendments to such an extent that it became imperative to repeal the entire CAMA and reenact it afresh. Mr. Chairman, honorable members, as the largest economy in Africa, we also need a legal regulatory framework that promotes enterprise, growth, and the right of conditions for investment and employment. This bill, therefore, is a result of the various fruitful interactive collaborations between relevant stakeholders in both private and public sectors and lawmakers with a view to enacting a robust legal framework of Nigeria's corporate environment. Mr. Chairman, honorable members, without taking much of your time, I feel these are basically the intendments of this bill, and it's my hope that honorable members, especially some of them who are co-partners, at least in the area of agriculture, where members of the legislature are allowed to practice business, this bill will now become an important tool to enhance more performance in agricultural sector, where I believe myself and most people like you, with the exception of people like Palake, who only do fishing along the lagoons, that we find this interest, we'll find this bill very interesting, and I hope you will all put heads together, also share your own experience, look at the provisions of this act, and let us pass it with the speedy of the speedy of the light of the day. It's my pleasure that it is being considered also in the sister chamber of the Senate, and it's my expectation that the two joint chambers of the National Assembly will find this Amendment Act or this bill a very interesting one, so as to promote economic investment within and without the country, to also help the federal government, the executive arm of government, to also create a more robust and proactive business environment for Nigerians to participate with all sort kind of protections that will protect internal and external investors. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Chairman, honorable members, I beg to submit, and I plead with the honorable members on the floor of the House to concur with me and let this bill pass with the speedy of the light. With the speed of the light. Thank you so much.
Just be patient. Maybe I want to throw more light. This was a bill that was passed by the preceding House of this very assembly, after a very thorough job between the House then and the executive. The main purpose of this bill is to enable or open ways for investors into the country. There are a lot of laws that are archaic in our own system, which are a source of encumbrance to investors into the country. And that's why this very particular job was done.
The issue of the woman
I remember then I was the deputy leader when we moved, and the speaker then as
issue of the journalists
the leader.
killed in Bayelsa, and many others, examples.
Unanimously passed.
Until something practically
Almighty God, creator and ruler of heaven and earth, we beseech thee to inspire and guide all our counsels and actions,
but I
so
want
that we may always walk in the path of...
The executive too are very interested, and they are the ones who are pushing because of the negative impact of the lack of signing of this bill. They couldn't have done it. They have to come back to the House for us to pass it. So I will plead with you that it's a law that will help open up businesses into the country and solve a lot of problems, including from litigation, whatever. I think these are the synopses that possibly I will have added into it. And it's bulky. So just like we did the last session, I will plead with colleagues. It has 870 clauses, and then 15 schedules. That's what it's provided for. And for us to go clause by clause, it means then we'll take another 1 month. And I will tell you sincerely that from the Corporate Affairs Commission to all those who are interested in investing, it's like we have denied Nigerians lots of opportunities. So I want to beg that we put a question like this, clause 1, because what we are trying to do is to do the ritual. It's a very perfect job that has been done. And I believe by the time you go back to retire to study, you will appreciate what has been done. I'm very much intending, and I know what has happened, what taking place. So clause 1 to 100. Got it? 101 to 200. 201 to 300. 301 to 400. 401 to 500. 501 to 600. 601 to 700. 701 to 870. Schedule 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Explanatory memoranda. Thank you. Move that will revert to plan to report progress.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, honorable members. Before I move that we revert to plenary, Mr. Chairman, I would like to use the opportunity briefly to thank honorable members for the cooperation that have extended for the passage of this very important bill. And like you have rightly said, we have taken the strategy to do this consideration in the manner we did because it has gone through a very robust consideration at various levels of legislations. I thank members for understanding that, and we have done that in the best spirit of the legislative considerations. It is my hope that when this bill eventually gets to the light of the day, it will be used judiciously, and stakeholders and relevant investors who may want to come in and invest in Nigeria in the light of these amendments we have succeeded will be in the best interest of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and Nigerians. Thank you, honorable members, and I therefore move that the House do revert to plenary to report progress. Mr. Chairman, honorable members, I so move. Yes, sir.
Seconder, acting whip.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, honorable colleague. Odebo Mushegun is my name. I represent the good people of Surulere Guna Federal Constituency. I rise to second the motion ably moved by the leader of the House. I so second.
Those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Those against say nay. That's a bit. House is have a plan to report progress. Distinguished respected colleagues, the House and the Committee of the Whole considered the report of a bill for an act to repeal the Companies and Allied Matters Act, Cap C20 Laws of Federation of Nigeria, 2014, and enact the Companies and Allied Company Limited Liability Limited Partnership, registration of businesses, named together with incorporation of trustees of certain companies, bodies and associations, and for related matters, approved clauses 1 to 870, the schedules, the explanatory memoranda, and the long title of the bill. Leader, move for the adoption of the report.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable members, I rise to move that the House do adopt the report as taken in the Committee of the Whole. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I humbly move. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, I remain Odebo Mushegun, member representing Surulere Guna Federal Constituency. I rise to second the motion ably moved by the leader of the House to adopt the progress. I so second.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Those against say nay. That's have it. Leader, move to adjourn to tomorrow 11 a.m.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable members. Once again, I am Honorable Ado Dogwa, representing Dogwa Tudunwada Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I'm from Kano State. I rise as directed by the Speaker to move that this House do adjourn till tomorrow, the 5th of March, 2020 by 11 a.m. Mr. Speaker, for the purpose of clarity, let me repeat that this House do adjourn to tomorrow, Thursday, the 5th day of March 2020 by 11 a.m. I hope the press have heard me. Thank you. I so move.
Yes, Honorable Goni.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, my name is Honorable Gideon Gwani. I come from Kaduna State and I represent Kaura Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I rise to second the motion ably moved by the leader of the House. I so second.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Those against say nay. That's have it. House is hereby adjourned to tomorrow 11 a.m.